Hey, Obias checking in here. So I watched Gladiator 2, and I know it wasn't historically accurate, but it looked authentic and changed my view of gladiators. Even though most started off as prisoners, over time they built up fierce and respected reputations. The warriors of the Colosseum were the stars of Rome that had thousands of cheering fans and even had enough influence in society to cause civil unrest. Before the film's final battle, the gladiator's trainer told Lucius this would be his last fight, then flashed a wooden sword representing a gladiator's freedom before attempting to send him off. Historically, a small wooden sword known as a Roman Rudis was awarded to gladiators as proof they earned their freedom, and Lucius definitely earned his. They had to keep it on them at all times though, in case someone ever questioned their freedom. Gladiators were usually prisoners of war and drifters who signed their rights away in hopes of fame and fortune in battle. The captives were motivated to fight for their freedom to be citizens of Rome. The Gladiator films always feature warriors fighting to the death at the request of bloodthirsty Roman emperors and crowds, but in reality, since they were valuable investments for the gladiator schools that trained and kept them healthy, most fights weren't to the death. Though at times they had to face lions, other savage animals, and ruthless enemies, the goal was always to entertain the audience, not to body the opponent. Before a Colosseum debut, gladiators trained for months or even years in special schools called ludi. They exercised, sparred with wooden and blunt weapons, and trained under skilled supervision in different fighting styles. Most had to fight 5 times a year, and before each battle, a feast was thrown for the fighters in case it was their last meal. The odds of a gladiator actually getting dusted off in battle was about 10%. They were there to entertain the audience, so as long as both warriors put up a good fight, they left as winners, but cowards usually met their demise at the demand of bloodthirsty crowds who signaled with a thumbs down. There's a few ways a gladiator can earn their freedom. One was brought up by Denzel's character, who bought Lucius and paid him after each fight. He revealed gladiators can stack up their earnings from each W and buy their way out. Prize money payments depended on the size of crowds and the honesty of sponsors who could easily cheat gladiators by calling a draw or no contest. Sponsors paid owners between 1,000 to 15,000 Roman sesterces depending on the skill of a gladiator and the size of the event. A win can earn most gladiators about 12 to 75 sesterces, which was next to nothing when compared to the salaries of other professions in Rome. At that time, a Roman teacher earned about 250 sesterces per year, while a soldier earned about 900. So gladiators would have to risk their lives and win over 12 fights a year just to get close to that. Most were paid the minimum and only managed to save money because they had few chances to spend the dough. They were treated like prisoners that spent their free time in a barracks where the majority were cuffed and stuffed in cells under constant discipline and supervision. At the time, sesterces were Roman copper coins that held 1/4 the value of a Roman silver denarius, so essentially they were worth a quarter or about 25 cents. So earning a rudis for being a great gladiator was an easier path to freedom, since it could be awarded at any point in their career opposed to spending years stacking up the few sesterces they were paid. Because the minimum price of freedom was about 1,000 sesterces, and that was for a low skill or weak-ass gladiator. In rare cases, gladiators could be awarded instant freedom if they gave a next level performance or did something extraordinary during their matchup. But this ain't happened often since the audience and Roman emperor wanted to see great fighters clash. on some UFC type ish. Since the life expectancy during the Roman Empire was about 25, most gladiators died young and very few actually earned the wealth to buy their freedom. It took most about 3 to 5 years to earn a Roman Rudis, since people weren't willing to see new talent just walk away. But if a gladiator lived past 30, they were awarded a Rudis for their service. The Gladiator 2 fight scenes were well choreographed and entertaining to watch, even though at times the Colosseum battles were hella over the top. I like how Lucius's fights weren't too one-sided, but there was a lot more man-on-man contact in this joint than in the last film, and I ain't talking about the fights. The atmosphere and structures behind all the madness look beautiful though, but I'm not a fan of the ending. It kinda left the film feeling incomplete, but overall, this is one of the best films of the year, so I'm gonna run it 4 mics. Are you not entertained by the Gladiator 2? Let me know in the comments below, but I'm only responding to subscriber comments moving forward, so hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm gonna get up with y'all on the next video, alright? Holla at me.
You hypnotized off the hatred. Deep down, you don't wanna see us make it. Deep down, you'd rather see us in the basement.